Hey everyone, and welcome back to my completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS. And here we are about to step through the magical wards to House Jae'llat, thanks to our wardstone that we've obtained in the previous episode, and pay them a visit. And this is going to be a really big encounter. It's going to be a fun one. And that's because SCS, well, even in the unmodded game, there's quite a few of them in there. But SCS adds quite a few like fighter mages, quite a few fighter clerics, and one notable named mage to the family. So there's going to be a lot of them. And this battle is going to be kind of our last hurrah when it comes to our spell selections that we've had in recent times, because you're probably getting tired of hearing about spells that bypass magic resistance that are kind of a necessity here in the Underdark, because, you know, both the Illithids are super highly magically resistant, and the Drow, of course. So that kind of forces a certain spell selection, and this is going to be basically the last big battle where we're going to be able to make use of such spells, or like focus on such spells. And anyway, we're going to have to prepare before we go in there. So of course let's get some stone skins going, although Imoen and Edwin already have some. And yeah, we're going to need some protections, mostly chaotic commands on everyone, because they are going to be willing to throw some disabling spells, of course, and also Jae'llat can use some iron skins. And we're going to have some special protections on Senashira, just to make use of, you know, the fire shields that when they return their damage, and that also bypasses magic resistance. We're also going to have blade barrier on Anomen, which bypasses magic resistance. It's considered kind of a physical effect. So this should do actually quite a bit of damage in this fight, because, you know, there is going to be crowdy inside, but we're going to apply that on Anomen once we are about to go in. Now, when it comes to our other protections, we're going to use protection from fire on Senashira, and we are going to use our fire protective gear. This is going to go to Jae'llat. This is going to go to Jae'llat, and she needs this helmet, and that's going to be her usual kind of setup. Also, Anomen needs his magic resistance amulet back on instead of the necklace of missiles. Alright, so now our three melee fighters are now all protected against fire, and that's going to be pretty important.
What is it now?
Now, Edwin, I think we're going to also apply some decent protections on all of our mages. We're going to have a round of spell shields. Let's actually wait a little bit on Edwin, just so we can apply these rounds of spells simultaneously. Yeah, we're going to want some mirror images.
What do you want?
We're going to also want some spell immunity to abjuration, but that's going to come in a second. Now let's apply both of our fire shields on Senashira. These should last quite a while. I wanted to memorize them on Senashira to give them a longer duration, instead of, you know, using the one from the staff. Alright, and now we're also going to... yeah, now is the time to haste ourselves. We can also throw in a bless and a chant. Alright, then we're going to have Globe of Invulnerability on Senashira, just so she cannot get Spell Thrust. Alright, and now we're going to use some spell immunity to abjuration, so our mages don't get dispelled. Forgot to apply spirit armor, but that actually might work to our favor, I guess, because of the fire shields. When Senashira gets hit, she's going to be hit more often, of course, whenever because she doesn't have the better armor class. But anyway, here we're going to also apply some blade barrier. Kirina is going to get some mirror images of her own, and Jae'llat is actually going to go invisible because we want to unleash. We want to get her into a better position to unleash a certain spell. Alright, and now we are ready. We've cast a few spells here. Alright, then let's go in. So the Ward Stone, of course, allows us to pass. And here there's going to be a couple of named opponents. There's going to be these Jae'llat guards, which are just standard fighters. Although they are pretty tough actually. A lot of the inhabitants of this house have actually really good stats, and they can hurt when they get to deal some damage to you. Then Riloa Jae'llat, I guess, might be the eldest daughter of this house. She's a priestess. I think the notable characters here are level 14, but there's one fighter called Ist'tar, or Ist'tar, and I think he's level 18, and there's also going to be the matron mother of the house, and she is also level 18, and she actually has some mage spells as well. She has some remove magics. But anyway, what we're going to do is actually pull as many of them as possible here, actually. We're going to start off by casting True Sight on Imoen. We're going to prepare Anomen. He's going to cast something in a second. We're going to have Jae'llat go to the east to kind of start casting something and take the attention of some of the other guys. Oh yeah, the little lag for everything to be applied. Alright, and here come the additions by SCS. These priestesses and mages, they are named wrong, because of course this is a priestess and this is a mage, but besides their name that is wrong, everything else about them is you know, correct. So these male elves, male drow with robes, they are going to be fighter mages, and these priestesses are going to be fighter clerics, and these are added by SCS. There's going to be a few of them. And yeah, there's more of them on the other platform. And basically we're going to have Jae'llat stand... Well, actually we're going to have Senashira come to the east to kind of take their attention. And Jae'llat is going to start casting Earthquake. And that's one of our spells that bypasses magic resistance. And then in a second, Anomen is going to cast Firestorm, and we're going to want to set up kind of our main kill zone in this kind of choke point at the entrance, the eastern entrance to this platform. So these guys are going to be streaming in gradually, and of course we have all of these guys to take care of here. And I think what we might do with Edwin is just throw in one remove magic. We have, of course, have our spell sequencers with triple remove magic on Senashira and on Imoen, and we are going to use them in this fight probably, but let's just throw in one remove magic to perhaps clear out some of these initial buffs they might have when it comes to this first group. Alright guys, come on. Alright, I guess Hindra, their matron mother, is a little bit further in there. But anyway, now let's start casting that Firestorm, I think. And let's try and deal some physical damage where we can. We want to get rid of this mage first, I think. He's going to be our biggest danger, and Riloa, I guess. Alright, this guy got dispelled by Edwin's remove magic. That's very good. Now we just have to wait for our AoE spells here. Oh, yeah, and Anomen, I think, is already doing some damage with that blade barrier. Yeah, we want to focus on that mage over there, and with Imoen as well. Alright, now we're just... Alright, Jae'llat cast Earthquake. She may get out of there as quickly as possible, and that means our Firestorm should soon hit as well. And I think we might add even a little Cloud Kill in there. Of course, Cloud Kill does not bypass magic resistance, although the Wand Cloud Kill used to in Baldur's Gate 2 Classic. The wand version of Cloud Kill managed to bypass magic resistance. It's not the case here, but it's still a cloud spell that's going to linger there for 10 rounds, and it might, you know, interrupt some of these drow as they stream in, try to cast some spells. So it might do us some good, and you know, it's going to take us a while to deal with the immediate threat of all these people over here. Anyway, this screen shaking from the earthquake is going to pass after the first round, but here we just have to kind of deal with it for a little while. Alright, this guy is over here. Let's try to get rid of him. Alright, Firestorm is online as well. Alright, that's good. Now Anomen can join the fight. And we actually are not casting anything. We can focus on our physical damage now. Yeah, this priestess got interrupted. I think we are good to go and just focus on our physical damage for a little while. Alright, and here come some of the other priestesses. I kind of would like to... Okay, I can't even pass with Senashira here. We are kind of stuck in this traffic jam for a little while, but I would like to check up on these guys on the platform and bring them over to us. We don't, of course, want to make it too easy on ourselves, with just this group being active. And I think we're cutting through them with our physical damage pretty well. And of course the Firestorm and Earthquake kind of slowed these guys down, I think, for a while, which was the plan, but I want to kind of check that they are approaching. And here's Hindra Jae'llat, their matron mother. And she should have her pre-buffs applied. Alright, here's Valas Jae'llat, and he is the mage added by SCS, and that's a very interesting choice of name, because Valas, if you romance Viconia, there's a certain scene in Throne of Baal where a certain Master Wraith plays some trickery, and in that cutscene it is revealed that Viconia's brother, that she tells you about in over the course of the romance, who actually sacrificed himself so that Viconia could escape the Underdark, he was called Valas. And in that scene he accuses Viconia of, you know, killing him and just escaping instead of trying to help him and stuff like that. And he mentions being turned into a Drider. But anyway, we want to kind of go in there. And yeah, oh yes, there's quite a few of them here. And here's that fighter, Ist'tar. He has like 86% magic resistance or something like that, and he's level 18, has great stats. It's actually pretty tough for just a fighter, in quotations. Alright, so Hindra now got her pre-buffs. Unfortunately, before that happened, she got damaged a lot, I think, by that earthquake and by the firestorm. So even though she has very good pre-buffs, including like physical mirror, Shield of the Archons and whatnot, she is basically about to die, and I think I'm going to focus on her with Senashira. Although I would like to have Senashira in the midst of the battle here. Maybe she would be able to incentivize some of these guys to attack her and deal some damage with her fire shields. But I think, you know, opponents seeing the fire shields are of course less likely to hit you. Anyway, here we would like to check if there are any casters alive. Okay, here's Rilla. She's uninjured, but there's this priestess that's about to die. Let's finish her off. Okay, and now let's focus on Rilla, while Senashira, of course, takes care of the big fish, the main opponents here. All right, so the matron mother is dead. Now we can kind of get back to our fight here and allow them to step into our kill zone. Oh, there's also one guard in that room to the north. Alright, there they come. Alright, where is Valas? I would like to have him close to us so that I can unleash our triple remove magic spell sequencer. Alright, our firestorm also expired. And we just have some fighters. We might stand in this cloud kill. It's not going to be too bad. Alright, here comes Valas, and I'm going to want to unleash our triple remove magic spell sequencer from Senashira. Boom. It was effective on him, and now speedy Senashira is going to get to him and try to destroy him. Alright, Anomen is taking some damage. Let's pull him back, heal him up a little bit. And yeah, we have some summons that they have called upon here to deal with. Right, I think Valas might have died. Okay, he is dead. Now let's take care of this fighter cleric here, this priestess. Did Ist'tar die as well? Okay. So we are basically in the clear here.
What is it?
Alright, cool. I like this fight. This is just such this can be such madness, you know, the greatest AoE for a while, for sure. Just complete slaughter and destruction here. I love it. Just look at all of these corpses here. We have wiped the whole like house of the drow here, which is pretty cool. And yeah, SCS makes it a little bit more believable by adding all of these different people to the house, so that you know, it's not just a few of them, but quite a few. Actually, let's pick up some of these drow weapons. I think I'm going to just sell some more of that stuff before we leave the Underdark, which is actually going to be pretty soon. We are nearing the conclusion, the culmination of our adventure here in Ust Natha. Let's just re-equip everyone as they are supposed to be equipped. This is your armor, Jae'llat. We can hold on to that, and I think we're just going to get all of these potions of heroism out. Alright.
It will be done.
And here, no one really has any like too specific loot when it comes to even the named drow here, like Riloa or Valas and whatnot. So I'm just going to use quick loot here to just scavenge some of this stuff. Yeah, Edwin was able to identify all that. Just a few for the road. They're not going to sell for much, and I think we also have had this crossbow of speed that is also going to become disintegrated very soon if we take it back to the surface. So let's just prepare that for selling as well. Alright, a few more potions and we're going to be done. I'm not going to loot all of this stuff, just a couple more. Our financial situation should be very good by now, but just in case, we might take some more stuff with us. Alright, and we can also loot some of these containers. There is going to be some wealth. Oh yeah, there's a scimitar +3 here. And 45 pearls. And some cash. Oh wow, really? What do we have here? Let's get like... Oh, this is still not enough. Still not enough space. Alright. You know what? We're just going to keep these pearls outside of any containers. We have the space. Anyway, that's Water Edge, just a plain old +3 scimitar, which is pretty nice. And actually, let's compare our damage between our +4 dagger and the +3 scimitar. Well, the scimitar's average damage would be a little bit higher, but the +4 enchantment on the dagger is pretty useful, so I think I'm just going to sell the scimitar, especially considering that very soon we're going to get an even better melee weapon for Kiranai.
Yes.
Alright, anyway, so the destruction of House Jae'llat is now complete. We have brought ruin to that house. And basically, before we proceed further, this is kind of our last opportunity to rest, really. That's where it's going to make sense. And I am going to rest and rearrange our spells a little bit, because at the culmination of our adventure here in Ust Natha, I would like to showcase something pretty cool. And I think it would be nice to kind of rearrange our spells. We have all that we need, yeah. We're also going to set up another spell sequencer with triple remove magic. Yeah, and here what I'm going to do is, I think, just have a little secret weapon in the form of improved haste. That should come in handy for where we're going to go next. Oh yeah, and of course we have the bonus slots on Edwin. Let's just give him some more. Well, you know what? Some of these spells are going to come in handy soon. Yeah, soon we're going to be in a different environment where we're going to be able to focus more on spells that don't necessarily bypass magic resistance. And I think I'm going to leave these two fire shields for Senashira for later as well. The globe is going to be useful. Yeah, everything is fine here.
Yes, without hesitation.
So we can just quickly rest.
What is this? Will not take long.
Alright, and now we can get back to the main story. Now, everything that there could be done in Ust Natha, we have completed. All of the side quests, all of the different things that we could accomplish here. And finally we can get back to for the last stretch to the main story. And of course our objective was to procure the blood of one of these powerful members of the neighboring races, and we have all three.
Certainly.
So let's get to it. Outstanding. Spider Queen smiles upon us. Our gamble does not go unwasted, daughter. Your champion has brought us the blood that we need. Praise Loth, the ritual may finally be begun. The Spana will rule Ust Natha without question as the preeminent house. Indeed. But we must be cautious, daughter. Ever cautious. The ritual may be disturbed before it is completed. The Silver One may get desperate. You are going to seal the city, matron? Yes. We cannot be disturbed from the outside. I shall go now and begin the proper preparations. This shall be a glorious day indeed. Yes. Veldrin, you have done House Despana the greatest of services. You will be a female without equal. Riches and slaves shall be yours. I shall see to it as soon as the ritual has been completed. Now is the time for you to rest, strong one. There is nothing more for you to prove to me. But Fere is going to want to see us in her personal apartments. Of course, get some more experience. And yeah, we're going to go to the Female Fighter Society to see Fere and see what she is up to. And there's going to be quite a bit of trickery involved now. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's see what Fere has in mind here.
What is certainly? It is you again.
I have a plan. A plan that will place me as the head of House Despana, even as we take our place as the rightful ruling house of Ust Natha. My plan includes you, Veldrin. Without your timely arrival here, none of this would have been possible. Do as I say, and your rewards will be unimaginable. Refuse and... well, why would you refuse? You have everything to gain, Veldrin. Everything. In order for this plan to be successful, however, you must betray the Matron Mother. We must betray Matron Mother Ardulis? Are you willing to do this? Think carefully on your answer, and you basically have to agree. If you say that you won't do it, Fere becomes hostile, and basically this whole quest chain is not going to be completable. I have no qualms about betraying the Matron Mother. Alright. You heard Matron speak of the ritual. Matron will summon a demon of terrible power, Veldrin, one to aid the Drow in our attack upon the surface elves. So that's why they have been mobilizing the armies, you know, for the attack on the surface. And that's why they removed Adelon as the protector of the passage to the surface. And they don't need to be concerned about a silver dragon guarding their way. And on top of all that, and you know, aside from like mobilizing all of their armies and whatnot, they're going to have this demon to aid them. And Edwin is going to say here that it all starts to make sense now. The blood is a component in this ritual used to draw the demon's attention and bring him before us. Oh, and also I forgot to say that if you have all three of them, I think it's in the enhanced edition that you just they take all three samples of blood from you. So this should be like super powerful, powerful ritual indeed, because you know, for it to commence you only need one of those three, but actually take all three of them. Yeah, the blood is a component in this ritual used to draw the demon's attention and bring him before us. But, most gloriously, House Despana has acquired the eggs of a silver dragon, the one guarding the route to the surface that we drow descended from so long ago. Holding these eggs hostage keeps the silver dragon from interfering. Even better, Matron plans to use them as an offering to the demon to enlist its aid. Indeed, what demon could refuse? House Despana will have opened the way for the war and summon its most powerful warrior. We shall become preeminent. But there is no rule that states Archelaus must still be matron mother of such a powerful house. Go to the treasury, Veldrin, steal the dragon's eggs, and replace them with the convincing fakes that I have had made. You will then bring the real eggs to me. Matron will offer the fake eggs to the demon and be killed. Then I shall offer him the real eggs. The ritual will be completed, and I shall be matron mother. Here is the key to the treasury room and the fake eggs. Take them. Return with the real eggs before the ritual is ready to begin. And of course she tells us to be pretty stealthy, not to get discovered during all this. And here I'm going to teleport a little bit in front of the temple, because there's going to be another event. And of course now we have the fake eggs from Fere, and we have this treasury key to the treasury in the temple.
Yes, without hesitation.
But what's this? Our old buddy Cellophine is here yet again. I have been hiding in the shadows of the city for some time now, and I believe I may be able to repay you for your mercy. You mentioned your mission to me, and I believe I may be able to help you. I recently followed Fere as she went to have copies of the dragon's eggs made. I have surmised her plan, and no doubt it involves using you as well. I believe I have a way that you can fool her, if that is what you wish. I had an additional copy of the eggs made. Fere marked hers, so she could recognize them. These are not. She will be fooled if you give them to her. I care nothing for the Drow war and the surface elves, and I spit on Fere and her house. I can give this extra copy of the eggs to you to foil her plans. Yep, and this should work perfectly. I wish I could be there to see the look on her face, and tell her that it was I who fooled her, but it is well enough that I am not. Fare you well, Surfacer. I shall praise your name when I hear of Despana's wretched fall. Yeah, so good guy Cellophine here gives us another bunch of eggs that we were going to be able to replace. Alright, and here first I'm going to quick save here and show you the way I like to do it the most, kind of in a stealthy way. Like we could assign Kirinai, for example, give her the Fere's eggs that we need to plant in the treasury, and we can give her the Boots of Speed, and we could just use her stealth. Oh, Hidden Shadows failed here. Oh yeah, because I'm on Imo and not on Kirinai. But anyway, we could go to the treasury. There it is, with quite a few guards on the way, and these special egg guards. We can open the door with our key, and once inside, you know, these guys go hostile, but we are still in stealth. There's also 5 golems here, 3 stone golems and 2 clay golems, and here we could loot the real eggs and place Fere's eggs in the container instead. Now this is going to activate the golems that are going to be hostile, but we could just use a potion of invisibility and just go straight out of there with no one being the wiser about what happened. But I am going to have Senashira play the main role here. And oh, and you know what? Since we have this save here, there's also one more thing that I wanted to showcase. Because now that we know of Fere's plan about swapping the eggs, we can actually inform Matron Mother Argelus of Fere's treachery. And that's also one thing that I kind of forgot to mention, is that there are so many outcomes here. There are so many ways that you can go through this part of the game, and I'm going to try to elaborate as we go on, and especially when the ritual is about to commence, I think. But anyway, here we can talk to Matron Mother Argelus, and using this conversation option, we can of course inform her. And as always, of course, feel free to pause and read all of the conversations in detail. But of course we're going to have to prove to her that it was Feyre's plans, and we have the eggs, and we also have the key to the treasury, which apparently only Argilus and Feyre had copies of. So that seals the deal here. And also Jae'llat has a comment. And Argilus is going to want to see Feyre here, have her brought in front of her.
Come before me.
Because she betrayed House Despana. And Feyre is going to be brought to the temple in a second here.
It is you again.
Alright, and as usual, of course, you know, I'm not going to click through this too quickly so that you can pause and read, but, you know, this is going to be not a happy ending for Feyre here, who is actually going to try to blame us, but of course we have proven that it was her doing. And Argilus actually mentioned a little bit earlier in that conversation that she would have been fooled by the fakes made by Feyre. And anyway, she's going to go to prepare the ritual. She's going to want us in a place of honor during the ritual. And we're supposed to wait here for a moment. She's going to go away, and there are some other things that would happen, but now we can actually go back to our save and show what I was supposed to show when it comes to Senashira playing the main role here in swapping the eggs. So we're going to give one potion of invisibility to Senashira, and we're just kind of going to barge in, and this is going to be stealthy enough. As I said, of course, this is not my favorite way of doing things, but just to showcase what you can do here is after we open the door, it takes them a moment to go hostile, these guards, and if you go into the room and out of their vision quickly enough, they are not going to follow you. And you can actually even kill them. They are very, very weak, these guards, but it's also a little risky, and I'm not going to take that risk. I don't want to reload on behalf of such a thing, but if they approach you and get too close and initiate the conversation in which they raise the alarm here in the temple, everyone is going to go hostile, and all of our plans are going to be ruined due to that. And they are only worth 100 experience anyway. But what we can do here is activate these golems either by attacking them or swapping the eggs, and just kill them for some more experience. So we're going to take the real eggs, get the Feyre's eggs placed in there, and here we're just going to use protection from magical weapons to dispose of these golems, and apparently no one is going to be bothered by the sounds of battle coming from inside the treasury. No one is going to investigate. And I got rid of these clay golems first because of their nasty curse that they can apply if they were still alive and after our protection from magical weapons expired. But I think we're going to be able to deal with all of these golems during the course of the spell. So yeah, we could get some additional experience from this, and now we're just going to drink the invisibility potion and get out of here. And no one is going to be the wiser still about what happened. So this is stealthy too, apparently. And now we can report back to Feyre. And during the conversation with her, we are still going to have the option to give her the real eggs or Solophine's fakes. And we are going to continue with the deception and give her the Solophine's eggs. But, you know, this is yet again another branch, I guess, when it comes to going through this part of the game. Yeah, so she is going to be deceived by the other fakes. She also expects us at the ritual, and she's going to proceed back to the temple. But someone else is also going to show up. This imp, who is a servant of Adalon, just checking up on us here. Most interesting a time watching you. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Deceit upon deceit. The silver one's eggs safe from immediate harm they be. But get them out of city you must. Closed magically, sealed the city is. Dead the matron mother Argilus first must be, if leave you wish to. Once dead the matron mother be, fleeing with eggs you should. Much anger from priestesses there will come. Minutes you have maybe, before revealed your disguises. Quickly leaving you must be. And alright Yoda, I could do without the threats here. After all I've been through to get these stupid eggs for Adalon. But yeah, of course, time is of the essence, and we should proceed to the temple as well and attend the ritual. But I'm going to stop myself here, and we're going to have the culmination of all of our efforts here in Ust Natha and the big finale here in the next episode. So for now, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.